10 years, 257 goals in 384 appearances for the club, 4 Premier League titles, 1 FA Cup, 5 League Cups, and it could even be more before he leaves. Now, joining us now is a man who knows all too well how sad it is to see Sergio Aguero leave. It's the legend, the musical City fan as well, Noel Gallagher. Good morning, Noel. How are you?
Morning.
Morning. How are you?
Good morning. We're well, thank
Excellent.
you. When did you think this was coming? Because the kind of news that he would be moving on has been rumbling for a little while, but did it still come as a shock to you when you heard?
I got a few texts last night around 10 o'clock. But yeah, it was kind of, the narrative has been that we're going to be looking for a new centre forward. So in a way, kind of glad he's not going to be kind of just left on the bench for a couple of seasons while we go and get somebody else. So it's all good. I was saying to the lads last night who were on my City mates, so I was saying I like the end of an era because it gives us a chance to reflect in the glory of that player and now look to the future, and we're not putting his nose out of joint and all that. And I think it's a good thing that he's leaving now for him, that he can go off and get a few years somewhere else. But and we can look back, and it was great reliving the goal against QPR last night. And I sat and watched it around on Sky News for an hour, and it's still breathtaking, that moment. Still, after all these years, it still gives. I mean, you still get the shivers talking about it when such an unnerving finish. And he's been an absolute, just a legend of the game for us.
No, as mate, it's one of these goals in very few situations in a football park. Do you remember where you are when something like that happens? And I think a lot of people do, myself included. Man, it was unbelievable. But it's one of the, I think, I'm very philosophical about the whole thing, and it's good to hear. But is it kind of sad in a way that guys like Aguero and David Silva are not bowing out in front of a full Etihad?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, particularly Dave and Sergio, yeah. But I mean, hopefully there'll be fans in for the last game against Everton. But I mean, hopefully Silva will come back one day when the stadium's full. But absolutely, I mean, Sergio deserves to go out on his shield in front of 60,000 people or whatever else the Etihad these days. But these are the days that we live in, and we've still got all the footage and the memories and all that. But I was going back to the point. I remember where I was watching that goal. I was in a bar in Santiago in Chile, watching it in Spanish commentary.
Wow.
At 9 in the morning, and it's still a breathtaking moment as that ball falls to him, and you wouldn't want it to fall to anybody else. And he could have gone down.
Yeah. I know.
And he was honest as the day is long, and it was just. I mean, I remember the emotion that exploded after that. We were all in tears in the bar, and we were with like Liverpool fans as well. Do you know what I mean? And he's given the Premier League its singular greatest moment.
In terms of Manchester City's history, I mean, where would Aguero rank for you?
Well, he's the record scorer, and he's right there at the very, very, very top. If you talk about the top 10 City players of all time, him, Vinny, Silva are right probably in the top 5. And I remember you got to remember he arrived with very little fanfare. Right, there was not. He wasn't like the hottest property in world football. Not like Haaland is now, where it's a no-brainer. You've got to go and get him. He arrived with everyone saying, "Well, there is this." He wasn't like unknown, but nobody had really seen. He wasn't like setting the world on fire. But I remember being at his debut against Swansea, and I've never seen anything like it. He scored 2 goals, and he set up another one for Silva, and you thought we're going to be all right here. But it's important to point out that on the day that he signed, Alex Ferguson signed Phil Jones and made a statement that went like this: City have been reckless again in the transfer market, and Phil Jones will turn out to be a better signing.
I don't even want to laugh.
No, I'm guessing you don't think he did.
Well, we'll see how that works out, eh?
You just mentioned the name Erling Haaland there. Obviously, that is top of your list, the player that you want coming in. Can you see that happening, a reality?
Well, to be honest, if you're reading between the lines of what's happening here, the dream now for every City fan will be this, is they've come to an agreement with the club. It's a done deal with Haaland somewhere. Sergio gets to come on at some point in a critical Champions League game preferably the final, he comes off the bench and scores the winner. That would be great. But with the Haaland thing, I would love it if he came. I think he's perfect for us. He's young enough, and he'd be willing to learn with Pep and all that. But it's going to be and you wouldn't want Sergio to play second fiddle to anybody. So I think it's a great thing that he's going to go off and play somewhere else for a couple of seasons, and he's not going to be sitting on the bench.
No, I think Haaland would be absolutely unbelievable at City. But on another note, I mean, you touched on it there. It could be the send-off of all send-offs. I mean, seriously, I look at the draw and I think, this year for City, for the Champions League, it must be a possibility.
Well, we're in the tough half of the draw, but as long as he doesn't take a penalty in the final. I've never seen a striker so utterly amazing and so dreadful at penalties. If he comes on in the Champions League final and we get a penalty, I will run onto the pitch even if I'm not there. I'll put him in an headlock and just say, "You're not taking it."
Who is taking it then?
I mean, you'd have to give it to Gundogan because the Germans never miss, right?
He's on fire.
I know, but I would. It would be. I mean, it would be the ultimate send-off if we get to the final and if he appears in a final in some respect. But if he came off the bench to score, it would be great. And but Haaland or Mbappe, either of them, or both, and Messi. Why not?
Why not? What have you made of this season in general with the Liverpool's title defence and the way that City have just bounced back in such a way that only really City does?
Well, what's happened to them this season is kind of what happened to us last season. We lost Vinny, and we had to take Fernandinho out of midfield and play him at centre-half, and we were all over the shop at the back. And they've suffered the same thing this season, and it's difficult, But though we've been utterly amazing. And I think it's gone to cement Pep's genius, because at one point we'd given up the league. We were like 8th or 9th or whatever it was, and we didn't have any games in hand. And it was like, okay, well, we're in a bit of a transitional period. But Pep has found a new way of playing, and I think the thing about Guardiola is he's not a one-trick pony. You know what I mean? He's a winner, and he goes all out to win at all costs. And to say we've won, I don't know what the percentage of games is we've won by the odd goal, but it's not quite like the modern Man City to grind out results. But the shame is it's been in empty stadiums. That is the one shame. But then again, it's been the same for everybody, and I guess Leeds fans will feel the same, that they've gone through their first season in the Premier League and not been able to see a kick of the ball yet. But I think we've been magnificent. I think we've been amazing. And I think Liverpool have got a long way back next season. A long way back.
Do you think that City can do it this year, do the quadruple? We always talk about it when it's on and we think it might happen. No?
No, it's impossible. It can't be done.
Is that...
Go on, cover yourself.
Well, it can't be done because there's you've got 3 finals. The league is... Look, I say to City fans all the time, the league, that's it. Anything else is a bonus, And we could win the league, win the Carabao Cup, then win the FA Cup, and then you've still got to go and win the Champions League. I think it's such an impossibility to do that no one will ever do it. No one's ever done it. But I mean, even if we won those 3 trophies and got to the Champions League final and lost on penalties, people would still say it's a failure. So give me the league and that'll do me.
Okay. No, thank you very much.
I think you're guaranteed that, mate.
Yeah, I think you're right for that one. Thanks for coming on this morning, Noel. We'll speak to you again very soon.
Cheers, Noel.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you very much. You too. Our thanks there to Noel Gallagher. This question from John in Oxford says, Laura, can you get Darren to ask Noel if Oasis are getting back together?
Well, like you stitched me last time. No, not this time.